two players, so I expect to see him taken to the field there. But the 3v3, never a done deal. It is the most upsettable matchup in a best of one, I think. If you put two evenly matched teams, or rather two teams that are not evenly matched on the field together. One player that I'm very excited to see is that man who just had a couple of good touches on the ball, JUI in the back corner. Moist Joyo has pointed him out as one of the players who he thinks is going to be the next big thing in EU. I mean, he's got everything going for him. He's French, he's young, he's mechanical. Like, what can possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a team named after you as well, then you know you need to be great. You look at all of the great teams out there that were named after great players. The one that really springs to mind, the Randy Gibbons River Rats.
Yeah.
Truly, the GOAT. To get Parker taking the shot. Oh, there's JUI. And I do like that. A little bit of the jump up and go. We've seen a lot more of that recently, Johnny. Just give your opponent something to think about. That one, however, actually had a distinct disadvantage of coming in from a blind spot. So the defenders aren't going to respect it too much because they don't know anything about it.
Yeah, very clean performance so far from the Juicers. One missed overhead clear in defense nearly led to a goal for Luminosity. But apart from that, they're playing a very fast tempo. They're fighting for the midfield. They're not stuck in their own half by any means. Aogiri earlier on against the favorite Solary really did struggle to get out of their own half for large periods of time. Juicers not having that issue. And here's JUI, who fakes a wall shot, recovers quickly to shoot low, but that's easily dealt with by Ixo, who we expect to be seeing later on today in the 1v1 for Luminosity. But he's been very inactive. I wonder if it will be Ixo, or maybe will Atomic try his hand at the once.
Yeah, Ixo is one of the OGs when it comes to the 1v1 scene.
Yeah.
But really use that as well to springboard his position. He's a player for the longest time for threes we were expecting big things from. Never really happened. That is something that's happening though. Faris, booming shot, top bins.
JUI in the setup, faked an air dribble, and then got down to the ground by jumping upside down to pop the ball into a 50-50, which Faris pounced on. Beat his top cornered the shot, and just about half of the game in, it's Juicers who take the lead. And this could really not just give them a chance in the series, but make them favorites for the series, and Luminosity come back.
Yeah, especially with suddenly an advantage over on the 1v1 side. If they can just take anything, the threes, the twos, they might be able to secure themselves two 1v1s out there as well. JUI reset. Ixo and Atomic both go. The bump as well. It has to go in, and it does. I tell you what, this is quite the surprise.
This is phenomenal from Juicers. They're really taking the fight to Luminosity here. Luminosity, who just finished top 8 in the most recent EU RLCS event. They're shocked at the pace that Juicers are coming at them with, the aggression, the confidence that Juicers are coming at them with. They don't have long to figure out a way to win this. 2 goals a lot harder to come by in threes than any other game mode.
Togs off the clatter into the corner. They needed that first shot, didn't come in. And that 2 minutes left suddenly looks very, very tempting if you're a Juicers player. First shot, Parker forces the players to move early, just threatened a little bit of a demo. Back into the midfield. The midfield control in general so far from Juicers has been exceptional. Ixo buys his team a little bit of space. JUI, fake challenge. Catches Atomic, forced him to the corner. That is, again, subtle but effective defending.
Yeah, we talked about JUI earlier on. He has been extremely influential in this game so far. He's been very fast-paced and very efficient with his movement, but we've also got to give credit to Faris in particular. The opening goal of this match was a perfect shot by him that he had to get up quickly for as well. He was being challenged to the ball, beat his man, top corner the shot with confidence, and you know, Parker is actually the player with the most experience, I believe, when it comes to Juicers. So this really is looking like a great team.
Yeah, the team custom built for this format. You talk about the shot from Faris. You always wonder when you see players like this, players that we're maybe a little bit less familiar with. Are they going to have nerves? Well, when you shoot like that, you can already tell that is a player that is not nervous, but maybe not the same can be said for Luminosity. They're up against it right now. They are running very swiftly out of time. Atomic back to Parker. Didn't really need the ball to fall over there. More time wasted. And again, just to harp on it, how impressed have you been with the Juicers defense? They just look so unfazed by everything.
They look phenomenal. They look like the better team. This has not been a steal. This has not been, one of those occasions where the underdog team just comes and surprises the opponents with a slight lead or a sneaky win. No, they have just beaten Luminosity at Rocket League. They've just been better at the game by a significant margin. And it looks like as soon as Juicers hit them with that opening goal, Luminosity started to panic. They're thinking, wait a minute, this is the game mode that we're supposed to be winning. This is a game mode that we have to be winning, with Juicers looking so good in other matchups in the crew battle. But they've lost it, and suddenly control of the series is firmly in the hands of Juicers. If they can field a 2v2 team at the level of their 3v3 team they just showed us, they're going to be the favorites to win this whole thing, not just to beat Luminosity.
Certainly so. So for Luminosity, they've now got to select between 2v2 and 1v1, and yeah, probably not the biggest surprise ever. Coach Snasky says 2v2.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of a change of plans have happened in the last few minutes for them. But for Juicers, here's your big question then, Johnny. Like, what is the roster going to look like? I can't wait to find that out. But also, how are they going to play? Update as well over from the Wolves versus Guild game. Wolves smashed Guild in game 1, and I believe they're actually working on the perfect sweep. They got the lead over in game 2. So we'll see how that goes. Keeping a perfect sweep with a 1v1 involved for game 3, though, bit difficult, but hey. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we mentioned CRR in the 1v1 for Guild, but Wolves have also got a great ones player in their roster, Hyder, one of the best ones players right now coming out of Italy. So that's not going to be an easy player for CRR to beat in Guild. They're kind of relying on their 3s and 2s prowess to get through that matchup. And
all right, perfect sweep's done. Guild got the goal back.
Oh, they got one goal. Got it for Shogun. He always loves to.
No, I don't care about the perfect sweeps anymore. I tell you what, we ever get the binary sweep in a crew battle over. See, that would be my luck though, wouldn't it? I can't get one in a 3 series, but I can get something that involves 2v2 and 1v1.
You're never going to get binary sweep in a 1v1.
I know.
I don't know where you're thinking.
I know.
Imagining this is possible.
Listen, mate, we call it hopium.
Look at this. The two mechanical beasts. Well, I say this because Juicy has been called a mechanical monster by Joyo, so, no arguments there. But Faris in that first game was also extremely impressive. I really liked how these two were playing. Confident, they were aggressive, and they were effective as well. They weren't just diving around the field making random challenges and committing in bad positions. No, they played smart, but just really, really quickly, and pushed Luminosity to a place that they were not comfortable in.
So we saw Foe in the previous series be the player that had to step up for every single game mode. There's potential here that either he or Atomic might be that player. Good demo's gonna get us some positioning. The player should be back in time. Atomic scrambles and does win the 50 challenge.
A good save there by Atomic on the respawn. You can clearly see that they are being forced to use a lot of their boosts to keep up with the pace that Juicers are playing at. Juicers bringing the exact same 3 strat into this matchup. They are not afraid of Luminosity, and this is wonderful to see from a team who haven't got the RLCS spring split to play for as a whole. They just haven't made events, so this is the biggest event of the year so far for them, and they're gunning for it. They're not just playing to consistently sneak out a few wins here and there. They're coming for one of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, this is their World Championship, effectively, and a huge opportunity to set the pace for next season. Ixo off the wall, that is going to trickle towards net, but certainly not going to go in with Juicy covering. Not the best touch, though. And Ixo should be able to take over. I think Ixo would actually like that if it was a slight bit better. Meant that he couldn't get too much power on his clear. Faris, past one. He's got Atomic. Oh, just didn't catch the ball on the way down. Has to take the 50. Does take the 50. Talk about improvising. And Faris has got the lead for his team.
What a monster. Faris fakes a wall clear, cuts in field, and then goes right through both Luminosity players with the Fennec, the king of the 50s. No matter who's playing it, it would seem. They are crushing Luminosity here. This is so impressive to see. We knew that they were going to be a threat, but they look like a different level. You know, earlier on, we're asking who's going to be the SSG of Europe. This is only, early stages yet, but oh my goodness, are they looking good? Atomic just missing as he ran out of boost in the worst possible moment. Luminosity, they don't know what to do against this team. They're completely stunned by the level that Juicers are coming out with.
And this is the reason why I do love this game. Just look at how quickly the whole narrative behind you can change when you step up to the freeze game like Juicers did, and now putting the performances together in twos, although Atomic, a quick reminder of the class he possesses.
Faris not getting enough on that. He, tried to force Atomic to lose control of the ball, but Atomic just walked right by him, and that wasn't enough of a challenge there for Faris. Not enough presence on the play. Atomic just walked right past him and still had full control to shoot across the net. Really good play there by Atomic, the player we highlighted as the 2v2 king in this roster. Ixo's also a very high-rated 2s player, but Atomic is often just sitting inside top 10 for long periods of time in the ranked leaderboard, and there's a reason for that. He is so consistent in this game mode. Now Luminosity with a breath of life.
Off the wall, Faris just has to walk through. Obstacle. Now Ixo on the counter. Oh, he can't pick up the ball. And Faris is now back. Just mistimed the bounce, although it's still dangerous. Shot will just whistle wide of the goal. But Luminosity, why is it going wrong at the key moments?
Similar to Solary in some ways, where the first touch has just not been there. Atomic, backboard, denied by excellent defending out of Faris. You wonder, was that necessary to go backboard there? Would a direct shot have made more sense? Stay more active in the play, at the edge of the box, cover clears, pounce on any bad saves. I don't think the shooting is looking too confident for Luminosity at the moment. That's something we saw at Solary late on in the series that they just won. Their first touch went out the window, and their confidence with it, but Luminosity have got to trust themselves here. They're great players. They're at the top of the pile for EU in the upper echelon as well. Not the very top tier, but right below the very top tier that pretty much just consists of BDS and the rest right now.
Faris takes his time. Off the wall, Atomic under some immense pressure. Ixo's got a chance to turn, decides to take it to this wall. Reset, might go the whole way, although, again, wasn't initially that great. Atomic has a reset of his own, but it bounces away from him on the counter-attack. Overplayed, and they get punished.
Atomic wanted the triple tap with the reset in the middle, but he didn't understand that Ixo is going to be out of the game for a long time there. Ixo landed with no boost after his play, and while he was driving back into position, he got bumped, and that just prevented any kind of recovery from coming through. Suddenly a play that Atomic thought he had backup on ended up being completely all in. 20 seconds to go. We are on the road to a sweep unless Luminosity can do something and do it quickly.
And again, scrappy over in that back corner. Ixo finally reboosts. Atomic goes to the play down. Juicy already waiting for the backboard, as always. Nothing going wrong for Juicers when it comes to defense. They have yet to put any sort of foot wrong, and that will land down. Juicers on the verge of a sweep.
Really impressive stuff from Juicers. A couple of mistakes here and there from Luminosity, just like the first game. They don't look like they're peaking right now, but they're definitely, at a level where Juicers have to be impressive.
I have to point this out here, Johnny. So next game is 1v1. Not only did Moxie instantly ready up once this game was done, he's even typing okay in the to the admin, just who's just confirming it is Ones up next. There is also another Ones game currently happening. CRR up against Hyder to try and keep Guild in that series up against Wolves Esports. And currently CRR is doing a good job of it. 3-1 with a minute and a half played.
That sounds about right. I think CRR has got the edge there, but it is a close matchup. It's a matchup that if it was a 5-game series, I wouldn't expect it to be a sweep. I'd expect probably 3-2 in favor of CRR, to be honest. So it's a close one, CRR versus Hyder, but it is a matchup where CRR should have the edge. Is that a reverse sweep being needed over there by Guild?
Yes, it is. They need off the back of CRR. So here's the problem for them is that it is all up to Wolves after that. You know, they can go back to 2s and 3s for games 4 and 5 if they don't feel comfortable with the Hyder versus CRR matchup. Over here, though, Luminosity and Juicers heading into game number 3. And as we have been alluding to throughout this series, it is Ixo against Moxie. And Tox being so helpful to his teammate, telling him, don't get nervous in the chat.
Tox is telling that to Moxie there. He's trying to get underneath Moxie's skin a little bit. He's trying to throw him off. But Moxie, we mentioned him at the start of the series. We loaded in, we saw him in the lobby, and suddenly everything changed. We realized that this is not just a contender, not just a dark horse, but maybe the favorite to win this entire event this day and tomorrow. Because Moxie is one of the absolute best 1v1 players in the world. You know, there's probably only 3 players in North America that I'd put on this guy's level. I think there's 1 guy in South America. There's probably 3 or 4 in Middle East that I'd say are around about his level. But in EU, you're looking at, it's a very short list. I think it's Riyadh, Jack, Moxie. That's your top 3. So one of the absolute best in the business. I just take it to the field against a player, like you mentioned earlier, Shogun, is a 1v1 legend. So one of the greatest of all time to come out of the region. But he's been inactive and it shows as he falls off the post. He tried to jump, but his stick wasn't centered. And he has flopped for 0-2.
Yeah, that one didn't work even back in 2018, and Ixo is now down by 2. Well, there's one in that other game. Hyder is actually bringing it back 4-3 now with 2 minutes and 10 left in that game, so I'll keep bringing you some updates from over there. Moxie, look how quick that is. Ixo thought he could get some boost. He thought wrong.
Yeah, Moxie is not going to take any prisoners here. There is no point during this game. He is going to feel bad for Ixo and just start to ease up and dribble the ball around the field. That's not how this guy operates. He will just keep on scoring, and he will do it in whatever the fastest possible way is. Wave dash recovery kickoffs looking clean for Moxie as well. That's one aspect of the game removed for Ixo to try and dominate in. It's very difficult to get kickoff goals on someone who's using that wave dash after single jumping into the ball.
Okay, if Moxie keeps playing the way he is, and this lead keeps growing, I get the feeling Ixo might have some choice words for Tox after this series is done. Why did you encourage him? Why did you give him something to focus on? Best passage to play.
You might be asking Atomic, hey, do you want to play the 1v1 later today, or how's your farm?
Moxie doesn't get demoed. It does maintain some control despite losing out on the middle boost. Instead, chases down Ixo. Just a constant threat. A rabid dog with the permanent need to try and demo his opponent. Ixo just can't maintain any amount of this ball. It's been 2 touches at most. And then Moxie just takes back over. Fake challenge initially. Moxie isn't going to have to worry about getting back. Shot was not on target. But for the first time, I think Moxie misjudged that.
He did. He definitely did. He left his net open behind him. He didn't expect Ixo to accelerate the ball that quickly on net, as that's what Moxie's done right here. Ixo also wasn't ready for it. You've always got to look out for the long shots in 1v1. These guys really know how to get the maximum power from any position in the field and to send the ball on target. If you're not close enough to your goal, or if you're not between the ball and your goal, you can't get back. The ball can move so much faster than the car can. And with the power these guys can generate, even from a dead ball, you have to be so careful. Look at Moxie with the mix-ups here, half flipping onto the boost on the kickoff, charging down Ixo immediately afterwards. This is something you need in 1v1 these days. You can't just come in with one normal kickoff and hope that you're going to compete with the best. You have to keep changing it up. You have to keep surprising your opponent. And even though Moxie's winning the game, he's the one who is making those changes.
Oh, that's so good! Moxie just has no indication on that car's body language that he can put it far side. But for Ixo, he thinks it's near post. Not even close. Other side for him. Moxie makes it 5. And Johnny, I'm going to ask you a question that you answered last week, because we're getting to that point now. What was the biggest lead you saw a comeback from?
7.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was.
Yeah, it was in a smaller time frame than this, but I don't see it happening. For a comeback that large to happen, the kickoffs have to be at least going decently well for the player who needs to make the comeback. And unfortunately for Ixo, he is getting destroyed in that aspect of the game, and I don't think he has the kickoff repertoire to even it out if he wanted to. But now's the time to practice. I mean, it all starts with which direction do you dodge. Ixo dodges to the inside, and he does win this one. But he's got to score it, though. He needs to score with pretty much every attack, and he doesn't.
Oh, he just didn't believe in it. It was just
long.
a give up halfway through the play, despite the fact that the setup, to me, looked really good.
Yeah, it was a good try there from Ixo. I think he might not have had a dodge, actually, because it looked like he was trying to dodge, but he didn't at any point during that play. So probably missed a reset on that one. Otherwise, he had a good chance to score. But yeah, Ixo just learning that 1v1 has progressed a long, long way since he was at the pinnacle of it. Look at Moxie, meanwhile, just darting around the field. He knows exactly what to do in every position and, you know, proving, I think, to anyone who is not sure who this guy is. He's not the 3v3 player from RLCS. He's very much just a 1v1 main and a great streamer as well, so definitely check out his content. Oh my goodness, no way. He almost gets back to save Ixo's first goal of the game.
Get a feeling after every single goal, Moxie's just in the voice comms at the moment, negotiating the percentage he might get from the LAN. Hey, you know, does this look like it's worth maybe, you know, 30%, 40%? You know, just, you're going to be relying on me a lot. Speaking of relying on the ones player, CRR has come through to at least give Guild a lifeline.
They can come back there. I think they can come back. It's possible. You know, some matches, essentially, if you don't have the better ones matchup and you need to make a reverse sweep happen, you're in big, big trouble. The other team are just going to pick 1v1 and probably beat you. But I think Guild have got the edge there in 1v1. And it might be so much so that Wolves don't want to pick it again. And in 2v2, I think Guild can beat Wolves. They lost the first match. I think they can win that, though. And in 3v3, they definitely can. So reverse sweep could be on the B stream, but a long way back for Guild.
Look, I'm just saying that I'm not going to finish the sentence because you might know where I was going with that. Something, 7-goal lead. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's 6.
Look, there was a minute and a half left here, and we needed something to go with, but Moxie just doesn't allow us or Ixo any hope.
Just enjoy Moxie's insane kickoff repertoire if you want something to watch from here on. A great standard kickoff, and by standard kickoff, I mean a kickoff where you're flipping on the way to the ball and then you're flipping into the ball.
He's done this on purpose, Sonia.
Recovery kickoff. I think he wants to go back and see more kickoffs, probably.
Yeah, you know what? That was, they were talking about the percentages. They said 35%, and Moxie said, oh no.
Yeah, he's saying, watch this. I've got another one. Standard kickoff to the outside. Won that. All right, let's see what he goes for this time. Maybe, like, I'm going to guess standard to the inside, which would mean flipping left here. Let's see. I mean, I really am just rolling the dice. Okay, wave dash instead. So single jump into the ball. It gives him the wave dash to get back to it. Very safe kickoff. It's less likely to get you goals, but it's less likely to concede goals as well.
I do love Johnny's little magic trick that he does. You know, when you get like the pack of cards, you put it to your head, and you just say, oh, this is your card. That is Johnny's version of kickoffs.
It's hard when Moxie's playing, though. It's really hard when Moxie plays. He's got so many that he can go to. It's very difficult to predict what he's going to pull out next. It's when, you know, players are kind of stuck for what to go for that it's a bit easier to guess what they're going to do next. But yeah, Moxie really does just have a ridiculously big repertoire.
He's got like 6 or 7 that all worked.
Yeah. Now, you're going to see a lot of wave dash kickoffs on the straight spawn because it's very difficult for the opponent to generate much of an angle on the ball and force it through you. So there we go. Another wave dash recovery for Moxie into a well play. 45 seconds to go, up by 7 again.
All right, so there's only one question remaining here, which is, does Moxie say nothing to Tox when this game is done, or does he give him a little something on the way out? Oh, there we go. Moxie has put in the chat, are you nervous?
Yes, before this game started, Tox asked Moxie if he was nervous, alluding to the fact that Moxie's the big favorite here and maybe facing an embarrassing defeat. But Moxie has destroyed Ixo and now replied in the same text chat with the exact same comment towards Tox. I love Moxie's confidence in his trash talk as he tries to...
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh boy.
Well, everyone at home, if you hear about any Luminosity roster changes in the off-season, you might know why.
That's crazy. It didn't
Ixo didn't deserve this.
Didn't even bounce. He just slammed that one on target. Ixo replied extremely, by the way, when he asked if he was nervous. He probably knew he was up against it here, but what a level Moxie.
Oh my god, the trash talk is going off.
Moxie just said that he could tell that Ixo's nervous.
Which Ixo, classy as always, he just laughs it off.
Yeah, Ixo knows there's really not much he can do here. If Moxie performs well, you're going to lose. I mean, that's the difficulty with 1v1. If you are the underdog in a 1v1 matchup to this level, you're up against a top 10 player worldwide, and you're, maybe you've had top 10 at some point in 1v1 history, but definitely not now. You're just going to lose. It's kind of up to them how you lose, not if you lose.
Right, well, this series has been done for a while now. Juicers came in, and when we saw Moxie, we thought, all right, maybe if you can steal a threes or a twos game, this is looking good. They didn't need to do that. They were by far the better team in every single game mode. And Moxie has just put the exclamation mark on this series for them. They're going to move on. Guild, though, still working on their reverse sweep. 2-0 up in a freeze game for Game 4 against Wolves. So that means that twos game is potentially on the horizon. Ixo, what are we doing with this? So we're going to our nets. Yeah, let's go to our own net. And Ixo gives Moxie the 12. Nice
Some kind words, by the way, as not just trash talk. Not sure if you caught it in the chat. Talk saying well done to Moxie there, because I think they knew that they were up against it here, but they must be impressed with that one game performance from Moxie. Just absolutely no chinks in the armor, no weaknesses at all. And Juicer's sweet luminosity. But it wasn't just a 1v1 carry here. We saw all mid really getting carried in one of their series in NA by Chronic, the ones main, and then they stole that last game to go through in 5. But they took every game mode. They had Moxie for the 1v1, but they had Juicy and Faris dominating 2v2. Parka definitely up to level in 3v3 as well. They look great in every single game mode.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And Juicers go from one of the unheralded to potentially one of the most impressive, and yes, one of the favorites for this entire event. To take us back over, though, and to round out this series, Barney Banks and Cole, over to you.
Cole, my friend.
Hello there, big bad Barney Banks. How you doing, son?
Oi, oi. I thought I'd just quickly mention, would you like me to get you a serviette while you just eat your words?
Oh my goodness.
We went into that match. Luminosity are the clear favourites, Banks.
Yeah, no, I did say that, didn't I, famously. But what I forgot, Banks, is that they're French, is that Juicers are French. And every time you see a fully French roster on Liquipedia, just run and hide, because that is the team that are going to win. Moxie, I see you there in chat.